But we're here. Better late than never.
Never late is better.
It is, but that's usually not how it happens.
Teal, you just said we're late because you're on Swedish time. What are y'all, 6 hours ahead? It's 12 o'clock. It's past our bedtime.
Did you see what she commented on the other one? She said Damien's already asleep.
And I was talking to him earlier. He was the one talking about no, I got to set her alarms and I got to make sure she's up and awake and all this. And look how the roles reversed.
That's what she said. She said he talked all that mess and he's the one who fell asleep and blah, blah, blah. That's usually how it goes. You know, they talk a whole bunch of mess, but they can't back it up.
How we look on screen? I feel like we look wide.
Look, I'm wide enough as it is. I don't need
we got the wide lens.
This is your setup.
It's all right. We're gonna run with this for right now. It's all good. Y'all can see us. Y'all can hear us. How's the sound?
That sounds fine. Look, these mics pick up everything, so if you hear something else breathing, it's him. Just so you know. He's over here snoring.
And we got the good angle on him. Every time we come alive, that boy always somewhere asleep. Look at him.
That's okay. What else is he supposed to do?
Get a job.
He's 3 months.
It's all right.
Tuesday. Look, here's her daddy. Leave me alone. But Cam, how are you? We haven't seen or heard. Well, I haven't heard from y'all in a while.
Dolby 2.1 surround sound.
I got the cinema view. If you could only see the setup right now that he's got going on here, it's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I tried to tweak the camera a little bit, and it went widescreen. You know when you go to the IMAX and it stretches all the way across?
I'd rather not be.
It keeps the top cut off. Yeah.
That's not a good look for me. But again, like I said, I'm seeing some of y'all trickle in, so please say hello, talk with us. Sydney, hey, how are you?
You got to talk directly into the mic. I can get it.
I'm short.
Yeah, I got the extender on there. There you go.
God, is that better? I just got a microphone in my face. That's okay.
Speaking of movies, saw that Morbius like 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. This guy Jared Leto just can't get it right. Anybody that hasn't seen it or is not familiar with the Sony Marvel movies, Morbius has Jared Leto starring the title character.
Michael Morbius. Dr. Michael Morbius.
For those of you that don't know, he what type of disorder did he have? It was a disorder that he had at birth.
I'm not sure. I think it was a blood disease because he was trying to figure out what it is, and it made him very crippled throughout his whole life. Him and one of his other friends had it, and was he in an orphanage?
Something like it.
Something of that.
But yeah, he came up with a cure for himself using bats. But as we know, it turned him into a bat, or
vampire-like something. Because
they were vampire bats, so essentially he became a vampire. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't do well with superhero movies.
No,
I'm not a fan,
and I hate it because I'm a decent. I'm a Jared Leto fan. I think he does pretty good. I like 30 Seconds to Mars, his band, which I did not know for the longest time that was his band. But and what was the other one? Joker?
Yeah, he played Joker.
He did not do well.
And with that, I just think Heath Ledger has set the bar so high. Rest in peace.
He did.
He just literally put himself into that character. And anybody else that tries to portray the image of the Joker, they just can't really just grasp it. But we started watching that We Crashed on Apple. That talks about the startup WeWork, which is a co-working space where people could go to. They can work out of the space. They can be friends. They can have business engagements there. I didn't realize at the time because I heard about it back in like 2018, I believe, is when they went IPO for the company, and that's when I really started hearing about WeWork. And I just didn't realize all the things about it until I actually watched that documentary. But he actually stars in the show
with him and Anne Hathaway.
Mm-hmm.
But she does a pretty decent job too.
And anybody that likes just like startup movies, technology series, a lot of them are doing this now, similar to the Facebook model when the Facebook movie came out. So that one, We Crashed, is out on there on Apple. Showtime has another one called Super Pumped, which has to do with Uber.
I thought that was on Apple too.
Nah, it's on Showtime. So I
go
just
back
started
and watch
watching
that
watching that. It's cool now to see because we're all familiar with all these startups, with all these businesses, Uber. I combine Uber and Apple together.
It could be something.
But
Hold on to it.
yeah, Facebook, we work, Uber. I didn't even get an Apple. Yeah, Apple had one. They had a few of them out there. They had the one with Ashton Kutcher. So it's cool to see how these companies, how they evolved over the times, but actually go back now.
We might get one for Amazon here soon.
Oh, they definitely got to do one for Amazon. The one I want to see really is going to be that one on Tesla because this man, Elon Musk, great segue too, by the way. Elon, he's just got his hands in a little bit of everything.
Well, when you have money, you can do that. So.
But there's having money and there's just
stupid money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
so
he has both.
So it was a slow day in media this week.
And what?
Just life in general.
No, it wasn't. There's been like 3 shootings.
I mean, aside from that, I'm just saying like the Will Smith topic is still,
oh my God, I'm
still out there. Like everyone's still talking about, the slap. But big news that took over headlines yesterday in my world, people that I follow and listen to, was Elon Musk talking about that he had made an offer to buy Twitter. A few days before that, it was big news because he had became the major shareholder of Twitter. As we know, Jack Dorsey.
I did not know.
He was a creator of Twitter. He stepped down.
In the wake of the what do you call it? That investigation with the island.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. So he stepped down. He said he wanted to focus all his energy on Square.
Is that his?
Like I said, man, these billionaires, they get out there and they just be doing projects. There's also something where he brought out Tidal from Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Jack, he's been in the background, but Elon made headlines when he had purchased majority shares of Twitter, and then yesterday he went on saying that he had made an offer of like $43 billion. That's billion with a B.
He's got that kind of money.
43 billion. So I was like, hold on, we're just throwing numbers out. I had to go and see how much his net worth was. I don't like to do pocket watching on people, but we talk about
I'm gonna talk about
Kali would do that. Y'all know I don't be with the gossip columns and all that. Kali, she'll talk about the Rihanna ASAP situation.
The only thing I know from any of that situation is from whatever Dante posts. Okay, that's the only thing I know from that.
We'll circle back to that.
He's my news source on that.
But he said that he was going to purchase it for $43 billion. Had to look. It said this man's worth $273 billion.
With a B?
With a B. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of buying and selling. People were anticipating, what happens if Elon purchases Twitter? I was in a conversation with some people before. The big thing is, especially in this space now, being able to control your own narrative. So we've seen the power of what tweets can do online. We've seen it with Elon when he gets on there and he'll say something about Tesla. Tesla's stock will rally 150 points, or he'll say something like, Tesla's too oversold and the stock will plummet. So we see how market manipulation can be done. But
it's got to be better than when he was on SNL and was talking about Dogecoin.
Oh man, that was,
and that just
yeah. We're not even going to talk about those Dogecoin days. But
we've evolved.
But even with the even in the era of newspapers, that's always been the case. We've always seen these big billionaires, hedge funds own newspapers, because the thing is, if you control the narrative, you can control the story. We see it with news outlets, CNN, Fox. Those are the big ones out there that people typically follow.
CNBC.
Yeah, so being able to control the narrative, put your story out there first. And the big thing now is a lot of people are saying, hey, we use Twitter to get our news because of how quickly the information can be spread, how quickly you can just open up your phone. You don't really have to go out, have to read full articles. People are already talking about it. So if you see something trending, you're already like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is what the story is. You can follow the threads and get your information a lot more quicker than, I have to wait for the newspaper to come to me, or I have to wait for a breaking story to come out. So yeah, that was a big time play that he was trying to get after. Even with Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post.
Washington. Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think I want to say Amazon had purchased them years ago. So we see where they're in these spaces where they're able to control narratives through the media. So I mean, him being a billionaire, being able to go on there, he had a lot of plans for it. They had something come out that said they had an all hands meeting at Twitter. And they're like, nah, we really don't want him to
I was going to say, did they accept his offer?
I don't. They haven't officially said anything, but they said something that was like a poison pill they came out with. They had some other people come in. Vanguard was one of the companies that actually went in and brought more shares. They had a meeting with the shareholders currently, saying how they wanted to make sure they understood the power that their shares of their shares for the company were, because
I mean, Elon can go a little off the rails sometimes.
And that was another thing they were talking about. They were just saying how he has these episodes where he just goes out there and like a lapse moment of thought, and he'll just start tweeting random stuff.
I think he is on the spectrum, is he not?
He said he had Asperger's during his Saturday Night Live sketch.
Which, from what I'm understanding, they've stopped calling it Asperger's, and they just say that he's on the spectrum at this point. So, but it's just, if you don't know what it is, Asperger's is really just a high functioning form of autism. So,
and what we see now, I mean, especially with a lot of these people that are in these spaces, a lot of people you can look and you can see that if they got diagnosed, they would be considered on the spectrum.
A lot with that too. And I've seen like you said, a few celebrities and people come out and say that they've had it. They're just not what's the word, socially. They can't interact socially like most people do. They have a hard time interacting with people.
Even with the whole
understanding like social cues and stuff like that.
Even with the whole Chris Rock situation, it came out. They said that he had Asperger's, or he was on the spectrum, that he didn't really understand social cues, and that's why he said he didn't step back. It said that throughout his life, he really struggled with it because he wasn't able to understand people's social cues when things were going on. But he said that made him such a great comedian because he would say stuff and he'd just be like, all right, whatever. He didn't really, not that he didn't care. He just didn't understand how he was coming across when he was dealing with people. So,
well, you kind of have to have a thick skin when it comes to that too.
To what, comedy?
Yeah.
I mean, as we see, Will Smith done put it out there. Comedians gotta wear bulletproof vests and helmets and stuff now. Cause
I think it's really just being completely blown out of proportion.
It ain't safe
from what it should be.
It ain't safe.
It's not right. Like, this is the last thing I'm going to say on it because it's getting on my own nerves. It's not right that he went up there and slapped the man, but at the same time, I don't believe he had a choice to do anything but defend his wife because she gave him that look.
I don't know. We always got choices.
That was like if somebody said something to me and I look at you. Are you just going to sit there and let it happen, or what are you going to do?
I mean, I would have handled it in a different way. I wouldn't have just ran up on the
like,
stage.
No.
Also, I ain't got Will Smith money.
You do not have Will Smith.
I'd have been locked up. And
yes, you would.
Probably tased, shot, put in a chokehold, something weird, but
It's escalated quickly.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Each their own.
On to the next.
But go ahead. I'll let you talk about this trashy Rihanna ASAP.
Like I said, I really don't know anything that's going on with it other than from what Dante has posted. He said I saw him post something today that there was a rumor or something, I think. If you're listening, Dante, correct me because I don't know for sure. That there was a rumor that I think A$AP Rocky cheated on Rihanna. I'm not sure exactly. Obviously, she is pregnant with his child. It would not be the first time that obviously somebody has cheated on their spouse who is pregnant. See, exactly. Because, like, where else are we going to get it? Like, nobody else talks about it like him, seeing how that's his future.
I don't know. You better ask Teal what that was, because Teal the one that was all in it. She'd be on loving hip-hop and all those other trashy tabloids. I ain't got time for it. Look at her. She was so excited. I thought you were going to talk about Riri and A$AP. Look.
That's what I think that's what he came out with, too, saying that it was fake. But I don't
know. I just say this piece and leave it alone. I know Drake was somewhere like, man, she should have just got with me instead.
Look, Drake's messy, too. Nobody wants to be with him.
Oh, another news. Him and the boy Jack Harlow, it was a leak that just dropped on Twitter. See, Twitter. Got to go to Twitter for all your source information. It was a leak that dropped out there yesterday. They had a song together that was pretty fire.
Oh, is it like out yet, or is it just?
I don't know. I don't know if it was a leak or if it was the actual song, but I like that guy Jack Harlow.
A lot of people.
Kentucky boy. Yeah, he's pretty decent.
I have not seen the ultimatum, but I know what you're talking about. But I feel
What's
like
the ultimatum?
so it's this, and you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong, because from what I've seen and seen people talk about, it's a show on Netflix that I think couples who have been together for a long time, I would assume, given the name, one of them gives the other an ultimatum about getting married. So I think that's what it is. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I can't watch it. That's gonna make me mad because why are you wasting your time? Clearly, if you've been together this long and you haven't talked about it.
Talked about what?
I don't know. It's just weird.
But
I guess everybody to each their own.
What you gonna get mad for? You a whole married woman.
So what? I told you from the get-go what it was. I didn't have time. We were 27 when we met. I didn't have time to sit around and wait on you.
People like 53 still ain't married.
So what? Yeah, as he said, it's to each their own, but I don't,
I feel you.
I told you what my thing was. And clearly it worked.
I mean, yeah. We weren't getting no younger.
Man, that video that she sent us earlier, did you watch it?
What video? No, I don't. Y'all be just. I got free time.
Well, I watched it when I was. I just had it playing in the background. In short, it was a video of a woman sitting with her boyfriend and the boyfriend's mom, and the whole thing had to have been staged because there's no way any woman would sit here and let her boyfriend's mother tell her who she liked better between his ex and her.
Clearly, it wasn't staged if they did it. People just be doing stuff for social media.
They said it was a prank on her, but there's no way. Like, they had 2 cups sitting in front of her, and she had to drink out of which one, the one from the ex or the one from the current girlfriend, given the questions that they asked. So it was just, there's no way.
And that video was 6 minutes long. I did not have time. Waste on ignorance.
Quicker than you thought.
I'm good.
Okay. But anyway.
So back to social media. So I shared this post the other day. And, I appreciate everybody that put their opinions on there because we got a lot of good conversation and dialogue from it. But this is supposedly has been circulating around social media for the last couple of days. But somebody went out there and put it out. People on social media debate if $100,000 a year is a lot of money. Somebody said 100,000 K salary a year is not a lot of money in 2020. And
2022.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah, 2020. Yeah,
You're 2 years behind.
Yeah, you could have balled with $100,000 in 2020. Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, I put that out there, and it got some good feedback from people. I'm gonna pull up the screen and see some of the comments that were coming through. But you put that out there, and I think it all comes down to people's perception on what money is.
It's relative. It depends on where you live. It depends on what your spending habits are. That's a decent amount of money.
And that's what a lot of people were saying because, and like we said, it's relative to your current situation where you live. Obviously, I had a couple people that were living in New York, and they were like, "Nah, that's not a lot of money." But if you have people that live in, I could even say parts of Roanoke, because I think I pulled up what the what is it? The household income is here. Yeah. It's like a little bit under 40,000.
For what? A single income? Single
Yeah,
household?
single and double.
I thought the last time we looked at it, the double, like for a 2-family income, it should have been about like 55.
Nah, that's high. That's high for this area.
So that just means we're extremely poor here.
I mean, it's relative. It's where you live. You got to look around surrounding cities. You got to look around. There's a lot of things that go into what makes it up. I think the big thing was people were saying, I got to play that other video because that's really what kicked it off.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. This was the tell-all for it. Let me see if I can play it.
$17,000 a year is $10,000 a month. It's not that I live a lavish lifestyle. It's that I live in a...
I'm not even sure if that's playing in the background.
I live in a...
Oh, it is. Let's do that again. That was a TikTok?
$17,000 a year is $10,000 a month. It's not that I live a lavish lifestyle. It's that I live an adult life. I'm 25 years old.
10K a month.
I'm 25 years old. You cannot survive on $10,000 a month. I can't.
$10,000 a month. And it sent people into a frenzy. People were just bashing her. I saw it on Twitter. That's where I got it from. And the big thing was just like, whoa, let And you can't say that people can't survive off $10,000 a month.
Well, and she corrected herself too. She said she can't live off $10,000 a month.
Yeah, that's what Teal just said. The video seemed taken out of context, and if people start putting their whole financial statements and their life out there on the line, like people love pulling out receipts. I tell you that. Because what does her age have to do with it? She just said, she was just like, I'm 25.
My thing is, there's so much more that needs to go with this. Do you have kids? Are you single? What part of town do you live in?
But, I mean,
what is your lifestyle? That's what.
Yeah, but the big thing still comes down to it. It's relative. It's relative. Everybody is going to view money in a different situation. Everyone's financial situations are going to be different. Everyone's luxury status is going to be different.
Well, even at the same time, though, too, you remember it was a few months, well, not even a few months ago. It was like a month or so ago, and I don't know who it was. I don't know. It was just circling around again on Facebook. There was somebody who lived in Roanoke who said that they could not live off of $100,000 year salary that they had, and that they still needed help. Where in Roanoke do you live that you can't live on a 6-figure salary, and they're still trying to get help?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can't understand. Like, I mean, even if you live in the higher parts of Roanoke, a 6-figure salary is still pretty decent.
Yeah, but like I said, it's relative to your life status and what you do. I mean, if you go out to eat at Billy's, Frankie Rollins, what are some other?
I mean, we eat at Billy's too, but we're still
we don't eat at Billy's every night. Like,
no, but I'm just saying.
If you're buying,
she said Salem.
If you're buying $2,000-$3,000 handbags, and really, like someone said on here, it comes down to money management. How well are you with your money management? Do you understand what your financial goals are? Do you understand what your budget is? Are you living within your budget? Are you living under your budget?
I would say with that kind of lifestyle, if $100,000 a month is not enough and you live in a fairly low to income, like where you live is not over the top, then you don't understand money management and you just have a very high maintenance lifestyle.
Like I said, I don't be pocket watching people. That's between them and whatever they doing with it. Some people said $100,000 salary is not a lot of money. It can be a comfortable living in the right area, but it's definitely not enough to change generational opportunities. And I agree with that, definitely. In order to change, 50-50. Because depending on what you're doing with that $100,000, are you putting something aside each month out of it in order to build generational wealth? Because I was talking to a couple of people earlier. We were sharing some infographics on different accounts, ways you can build an income up. Everybody has this mindset of $1 million nowadays. Like,
$1 million is not what it was.
Nah, $1 million back in the day was cool. Everybody was like, I want to be a millionaire. Remember the show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? When that show came out, everybody was like, I want to be a millionaire. Nobody was really thinking about being a millionaire until Who Wants to Be a Millionaire came out. I was like, I can go on a game show, answer 12 questions, and now I'm a millionaire? Was it 20? It was some amount of questions. But now the thing is, with the explosion of technology and all these get-rich-quick schemes and everything going, they said even after the pandemic, the number of millionaires has drastically increased. So what's the next number?
A couple million or a billion? It depends on where you want to go.
Yeah, that billion's a different number. I don't think that number is ever too far out of reach because even with it, it's just like, $1 billion. So do you strive for 5 million, 10 million?
That's what I'm saying. You've got to set, like you said, you have to set goals for yourself. And like Patil says too, most people don't have a budget. They don't really have a budget until they need a budget, and then it's too late. Like most people probably don't have the emergency fund set up. Like, what is it supposed to be? Like 3 months salary or a month salary, something like that.
I think even now that's changed. It used to be that they used to say have 3 months savings saved up, have at least $1,000 in just another account for an emergency plan. But the thing with that is, emergency is well over $1,000 nowadays. We can't look at what it was 10 years ago because, as we see now, inflation has kicked in. The price of everything has gone up. I was talking to my grandfather the other day. He said when he first started working, he was going out getting like $1 a day. He was like, after 40 hours of work, only $40 going home. But then taxes kick in. He's like, I go home with $38. So it's like, ooh. So having those understanding, even with us seeing how jobs are starting to increase people's pay and the minimum wage has gotten boosted, which it hasn't done in years. But with that,
2009.
but with that, the minimum wage has gone up, but so is everything else. So is that
it's not really going up? Then it's just more. You're almost leveling out because it's gone up about $8, but like you said, inflation's gone up too. That's
Yeah, Nick, man, I appreciate that. He said we will see the first trillionaire in our lifetime.
I think it'll be Elon.
I don't know, but it's going to be somebody, because even with like Apple becoming the first $1 trillion company, and how these companies now are seeing these influxes of cash, and how quickly technology is moving, and the idea of money is changing so much now. Like when people were talking about cryptocurrencies even 2 years ago, and they were like, oh yeah, that would never happen, to now banks are starting to accept them and figuring out ways that they can offer them in people's portfolios. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. So crypto's here to stay now, even to the fact that Biden had went out and had put in some policies based on cryptocurrencies. So it went from a thing where it was like, oh, this isn't real money, to people being like, oh, how can I get some cryptocurrency? Mm-hmm. Even going back to the conversation of what is money? How was money even real? When we talk about cryptocurrency being something you can't see, it's not tangible. Money's not based on the gold standard anymore. So we're just printing on the backs of paper and just saying, oh, this is what the value is. So yeah, whatever people put value on, that's what.
That's how it's been since the beginning when they were on a barter system.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's as plain and as you can describe it. Whatever you can put value to is what people are going to pay for it. Guys literally know your worth. Like it's just what it.
So yeah, Nick, with that, like it's crazy to think about, because it was a point before when, like, we first started getting millionaires. When you think about like Andrew Carnegie and Rockefeller and those guys, then when they considered them the people that built America, and the amount of money that they were getting back then, to now we have billionaires just popping up all over the place. Like the fact that Kanye is on somebody's billionaire list. Kanye, Rihanna, Jay-Z. I just say this because I saw a list the other day for Forbes, and it was saying these billionaires that are out now, and it's like they had a whole song together called "Run This Town," to the fact now all three of these people in these entertainment sectors are billionaires. And so these kids coming up now, back in the day when kids were like, oh, I want to be an athlete. Now kids are just like, I want to be a rapper.
Well,
it's like, dream on, little buddy, you got it. But
you can't even say what they're rapping about. It's not going to make it big, because all this crap that's coming out now, it's not even rap. It's mumble rap. They've given it a name. It's mumble rap.
And it don't matter in the world of internet money. And make noise. Don't matter. It's internet money. Internet money don't got to make sense.
I guess not, because it definitely don't.
It just got to make sense on the internet. They going to buy it.
I can't.
Shuffle it around and sell it back to you. And then you hear it enough times, and then you start singing it. Next thing you know, it's on commercials. So,
well, between that and being a TikTok star too, there's been a couple people that I've seen who are big on TikTok who are in commercials and stuff now.
Yeah, I know a couple of people that are TikTok celebrities. I mean, nobody you know, but people I'll be kicking it with in my Discords and stuff.
So you don't really know them either. Don't try that.
Man, I know them online. The internet, I got internet friends.
You have internet friends, which is a sad thing to say. It's the same people who interact with these people on these gaming systems.
Hey.
It's the same.
Just mad you ain't got no friends on the internet.
I do. I'm talking to them right now.
Billions are made through the rap. Most won't hit that B mark till they leave the music alone and enter the business. Absolutely. And that's something else I was seeing also. Like the amount of money that people don't see from rapping and doing music to the actual people, the execs that are pushing that music out there. Even thinking about like with TLC in those earlier acts, like New Edition. Remember the New Edition movie? And it was like, oh, we got hit for how much? Yeah. And y'all are getting how much off our backs? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're just a product at the end of the day. I think the big thing now, like I said, with the internet, people understanding what their personal brand is and being able to package that up themselves, sell it, distribute it, market themselves, make their own deals, understanding the world of business. Because everybody's like, oh, I want to get into business, I want to do this, but actually having a business mindset, understanding what good deals are, understanding what contract negotiations are, being able to get out there and advocate for yourself so you can get the best deal, so you can generate not get rich off a one-hit wonder, but generate wealth for yourself. Everybody keep talking about that kid. What's this? Lil Nas X. How he came out, he had that song. What was it? Old Town Road.
He came up on a trend, or he came up on a.
I mean, but he navigated it how he needed to, because I don't think he got any money off that Old Town Road, because he sampled. Was it 9 Inch Nails? He had like the sample in the background.
Johnny Cash, wasn't it?
Nah, it was 9 Inch Nails. He had like the music instrumental in the back because, I don't think he didn't really eat off of that. I think he had like some other stuff he had to get involved with before he started seeing some money. But just imagine how many plays Old Town Road was on. When was that? 2000?
Too many.
Was it 2000? You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that Old Town Road. 2020.
20 or 19.
Yeah, something like that. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that Old Town Road song. It was a trendy topic. Like they tried to drop him off the country music charts.
He did get
he got dropped. Then Billy Ray jumped on the track and was like, "Go ahead and tell me Billy Ray ain't country music. Tell me Billy Ray Cyrus ain't no country music."
And his achy breaky.
Yeah, then they had to put him back on there. Like, industry different.
Up. The sacrifice money is for art sometimes.
Oab said it best. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Absolutely.
True. Very true.
Absolutely.
But that's what these, and I'm going to sound so old when I say this, but that's what these young rappers and stuff don't seem to understand. You have to do more than just make music or noises.
I mean, but it goes with it also. The music industry, I've heard it from a few people. They say it's just cutthroat. I mean, that's any industry you get into in business that you're not savvy on, that you don't have the information. If you just don't have mentors in your corner, making sure that, hey, I have your best interests, I'm gonna get you the best deal. I'm gonna make sure that nobody's just out here just taking money out your checks or nothing. I mean, it can happen in anything. It doesn't matter. Music industry, entertainment. You could be working at the car wash and somebody over here shorting your check. But the younger artists, I think there's so many of them coming out now, and they see people in their age groups getting famous off these TikToks, and plus their minds are just so malleable. They're able to get in there and be like, "Oh, I want to do this." If they have a little gimmick or something, then people can just get in their ear and just be like, "All right, we're going to do this," and they're not really going to be thinking about it. So, yeah, my big thing is the internet. They should just be studying up, get a mentor that can help groom them in the right direction and understand how to maximize their capability. Because they say music's a young man's game. Like, I don't think I could just come out right now and be like, you know what? I think I want to be a rapper.
I wish you would.
At 33 with a wife and kid, what am I rapping about?
I think you would have more success as a comedian than you would a rapper.
Nah. Comedians, they got targets
just
on their back now. I can't say nothing to nobody because they be out here trying to fight me after the show. You know,
who's gonna fight you? You're 6'10".
I don't mean nothing. Like they shooting people now. Oh, by the way, they said the baby shot another person.
The baby?
The baby.
Well, I mean, that's just like his MO at this point.
Well, I had to segue because we were talking about artists, and it came across my news feed because they said somebody tried to break into his estate, North Carolina. And
well, that's self-defense.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm defending my house.
Why do people keep coming up on this man? Nowadays, they do. The youngins showed us big corporations don't matter anymore. Those likes and followers is the leverage they're using. Absolutely. They're starting to call it social currency now. So having that understanding of what your personal brand can do. Because, yeah, you're absolutely right. People coming out now, they got millions on millions of followers. They're going to, like you said, the big corporations. It's like, hey, I can move that needle for y'all. I don't really need y'all. What are y'all doing for me? Because they're making money off their own merch. They're putting their own stuff out there, and people are paying them. Really, the corporations got their backs against the wall and have to figure out, all right, how do we leverage this? How do we give them the best incentives? We even saw it with in the sports world. They had no choice.
The high school athletes?
Yeah, with the national intent letters, they had no choice but to start paying these players because.
Well, I mean, they should. If you're talented at something, or if you work up enough following to make a decent impact on something, then you should get paid for what you do. He said, do the people get paid for the TikTok samples or use?
Who asked that?
Damien.
I don't know nothing about TikTok. I just know that most of the stuff on TikTok is already someone else's work, so they're just doing dances. A lot of that, they're just building up their social presence to be seen.
It is, but a lot of them too are doing, like, I read on an article or something that said 5 sure ways to go viral on TikTok, and one of them was to stick to one thing. and keep it going instead of keep switching all your videos and stuff like that. Like the people who do those restock videos where they just show you like restocking things around their house. It's an ASMR video, and then it's just showing that. I saw somebody the other day, she was partnered with some like cleaning company or whatever, showcasing their products and stuff, but she was doing her restock videos with their cleaning company and then sent the link in there for you to buy it. So,
oh, okay. Yeah, so see, yeah, with that.
Partnerships and whatnot too.
I mean, it ain't a bad thing. I mean, for people that just want to, live a regular, general life, have a couple thousand followers and get a couple endorsements here and there. I mean, it's a great way to segment some additional costs. I mean, I'd have a Clorox sponsorship where I'm just cleaning up around the house and Clorox is sending me free products, maybe send a little check in the mail for dropping the name here and there. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, and a lot of people too are using it for using that platform for good too, because there's one on there and I can't remember what his name is, but he wears like a mask that they wore in the Purge or whatever, but he exposes people who bully kids or even adults or whatever, and like the FBI has worked with him to catch people and stuff like that.
Remember that show T-Cap?
I do not.
To Catch a Predator.
Oh,
with Chris Hansen.
Yep.
Yeah, they couldn't have no TikTok back then. People would just be, such and such lives over here, because Chris used to just walk in the house and be like, oh, who are you here to meet? What you got in the bag?
But you're not here to meet.
Brought applesauce and condoms. Sit right there. We got a couple questions for you, FBI, waiting outside to take. And T-Cap was that show. Get these people off the streets. But yeah, you're right, Tony. Do people even do mixtapes anymore?
People listen to them if they did.
Hey, I'd listen to a Fire mixtape. Remember, Wayne used to be dropping mixtapes every week at the dedications and those droughts. But yeah, you're right, Damien. They had to figure out something because too many, like you said, too many of those kids was trying to pull the one and done stint when they got rid of, because the NBA always going to find a way to get involved, because there for a minute they were like, no, you can't go straight from high school to the league anymore. And then they were like, all right, you gotta do 1 year in college. And these colleges was making so much money off the backs of these players. Even think like with Zion Williams in his last year, how much Duke made off his back. Like they couldn't keep a Zion Williams jersey or anything, a poster or anything in there, just for him to get into the league and not even see a fraction of what they made. Saying,
I have not heard anything about him since other than who he was drafted to.
He went to the Pelicans. He had he had a couple different injuries and stuff that happened to him, and then it's like every couple of years we get a player or two that they're like, oh, they're going to be the next LeBron James, they're the next Michael Jordan, and don't let these kids just, be kids, enjoy the game, enjoy going through the journey and the process of what does it mean to, enjoy playing basketball with your friends in high school until you get to college. Enjoy what your college years are until you get to the NBA where it becomes a business. So I think them now having that national intent letter where they can get some money if they need to help out their family, if they just want to have some extra finances, where the colleges aren't going to be, basically putting them on a slave block and auctioning them out. Because let's keep it real, that's what happens in these sports. But actually giving the players an opportunity now, like we said, to get some business savvy, to get some money in their pocket off of their own brand. I'm for it. I wish that it would have came a few years sooner. But,
Well, even like some of these high schools too, not even for athletes, but a lot of these high schools now are starting to offer a financial literacy class that you have to pass before you can graduate. So if you get money, which would obviously help out these athletes and whatnot, but if you get money, you don't just blow it on a watch or, something just stupid. You know what you can do with it and set it aside. So if something were to happen and you flop after you get to the big leagues, and you've got something to fall back on. He said what?
Tony said college athletics is a modern day slavery. They only trying to clean their image because the O'Bannon brothers said, hell no. That's flavor. I've been saying it for years. Even, I don't know if y'all have seen that Colin Kaepernick, Colin in Black and White, but the first episode really shined a light on that. He showed just the similarities between how college athletics, mostly football, is when they got to go to the combines. I mean, even just showing the correlation between how when slaves would come off the ship and they would take them up there and put them in the middle of the center, and they would they would measure their wingspan and, oh yeah, this is a good one right here. He's a scrapping fine young man. Oh, let's see how high you can jump and run and sprint. And then what we got the owners over there putting the hats on them and branding them. So
even the word combine does not sound appealing. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. But I'm not in the world of sports.
Damien said they sent the South Carolina guy to New Orleans and all he do is eat. Yeah, he did get big and hefty, man.
And he wasn't a small boy.
No, he wasn't already, but I mean, in that mindset, like it's a hard transition. I didn't go to the league, but I can only imagine making that jump from college ball to the professional league and trying to maintain your weight, trying to be on top of your game when everyone else around you is in the same caliber of player as you. Because it's not like
his mom pushed him a lot too to go to the NBA and everything too. Because I remember she had some issues when he was in college or something, accepting deals she wasn't supposed to or something like that.
I mean, and that comes with the territory. We even saw it with LeBron when he was in college at the time. I mean, LeBron didn't go to college. When he was in high school, and I mean, most of these kids, they're coming from situations where they don't have $100,000. So $100,000 to them at the time is like, oh, can you wait a few years until you get there? Because especially with sports, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna be a scientist. Like your body has a deadline. You just can't be out here running, jumping, and putting stress on your body. Because especially football, basketball, baseball, them guys play forever. Like you see people in the dugout, they 80 years old, and they just sitting in the dugout, just like, yeah, run, like
honorary member.
Yeah, but
a light jog.
Yeah, but definitely these more intensive sports. So I can understand when you got guys like, all right, I got to help my family out. I got to help my mom out. I got to help my dad out. My grandparents over here, they need help. So
I get it, but then like you said too, you start that at a young age, then they don't get to actually enjoy the sport, and it's more just of a job for them than it is anything else.
Yeah, well,
and that's why most of them either they get injured so bad and now they fall and they don't know what to do with themselves, or they just end up hating the sport after a while.
Because even with was a guy, Greg Oden, it was like, oh, he's the next LeBron. It was like, boy, exactly. He ain't paying out. He got in the league, got hurt. Even with the other Lakers team now, they kept trying to stack it, and most of their players are hurt again. Rest in peace to the Lakers.
Damn.
The Hummer changed the game. LeBron was in high school. Yo, you know it's crazy you say that too, because seeing LeBron now in Hummer commercials where they doing the crab walk, and it's like, LeBron,
I love that commercial.
are you trolling us with this Hummer commercial, or are you really pushing the company? Because yeah, like you got to be strategic when you're doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. Like his mom should have been like, nah, let me get a Corolla or something. Like let me get a little Honda. You got your son pulling up in high school at 17 years old, whipping the big body Hummer. Like, bro, you can't even afford gas in this thing. What you gonna do? So yeah, it was real hot with that. He ain't had no choice but to go straight to the league after that.
His son?
No, LeBron. Like when he was in high school, there was a big scandal where he got a Hummer, and his mom was like, "Nah, this is my Hummer."
Oh,
was like,
okay.
Where'd you get a Hummer from?
Gotcha. You remember that show Sweet 16 on MTV?
We knew a girl that lives in Virginia Beach that was on that show.
Some of those were just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, one of my friends that plays ball with he played ball at Ohio State. He actually went to the party, and when we was out in Virginia Beach one day, you just happened to be hanging out with him. She's like, yeah, I was on that show, Sweet 16. I was like, you know what? I remember that episode. So yeah, anybody could have got on the show. You just had to have an extravagant party.
You had money.
I mean, I guess.
Well,
MTV gonna hype you up and make yourself look more grandiose than what it is.
Man, I saw something the other day. This is just off topic completely, but I saw something the other day saying that Pimp My Ride, like the after effects of it was absolutely horrible.
Exhibit was like, I ain't do nothing. He said people would run up to him and be like, oh, yeah, why'd you mess my car up? It's like, you ain't never seen me in no shop over there putting no fish tanks in the trunk. Like,
he did not.
Yeah, MTV, y'all are trash for that.
Man.
It's all lights, camera, action.
Keep it.
I think they took the stuff out after the fact. I think they just did it
for the show,
and then they got rid of whatever they did. They put 40-inch rims on a Prius or something crazy. Yeah, bro had the $100 million Nike deal before he graduated. Already knew he wasn't going to college. Nah, he was just buying time at that point. Could you imagine LeBron in college though? Like, what could you have done? He was already a man child in high school. He was a man child when he got to the league, like the first year. Like,
man child. I don't feel like it would have been a very long trip in college. Like one semester, like all right.
Nah, LeBron couldn't. He would have averaged 200 points a game. Like, just give it to LeBron. It's not just the terrible weird stuff Pimp My Ride did. Also, the tax implications was terrible for the owner.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even imagine.
It's like the same thing that when Ellen gives these people cars and whatnot. I can only imagine what the taxes are on that.
Oprah was giving out houses at one point, wasn't she? Who gave out the house?
Ellen.
Oh.
She's giving out houses. She's paid off mortgages. All kinds of stuff. This is her last season. Her last episodes, I think, next month or something.
Yeah, speaking of Len Bias,
Who?
Len Bias. He played for Maryland back in the day. That's what I was getting to from Snowfall, because on this new season of Snowfall, it just had its finale is actually next week. But when the season kicked off, it was talking about. Did you just yawn? I did. Am I boring? Or are you just tired?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But it was talking about how the crack epidemic was starting to spread, and how it was reaching other parts of the state. Not just, it wasn't just contained anymore in California. So the first episode had Len Bias on there, and the big thing was that it was his first time. He was celebrating about getting drafted, and he did a lot of coke with his friends, and then had a heart attack. So yeah, that's what made me say that. I don't know if y'all seen Snowfall, but yeah, it's a good little show. John Singleton that does Baby Boy, Boys in the Hood, anything pretty much.
Rest in peace.
The California vibe to it. But yeah, that season finale is next week. They just announced that season 6 will be the last and final season of Snowfall.
Speaking of last and final seasons, if you watch This Is Us,
thank God.
We're close. Don't even, because every time I watch it without you, why'd you watch it without me? You're invested. Just go ahead and
I'm over it. I'm ready for it to end. If y'all watch This Is Us, it's
a good show. I don't know what you're talking about. Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted 6 years. It's a decent show, but that one's ending here soon too. I think we've got a few more weeks, and then that one's going off. We've started watching that Moon Knight on Disney Plus. What do you think?
I like it. It's different. I like the challenges that the main guy goes through, because they saying it's like a lot of DID going on with him. You know DID? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, because I couldn't put all the words together. I just knew what the acronym was. But and I'm seeing now we're getting a lot more diverse superheroes. Like, I've never even heard of this guy, but it's supposed to be like Egyptian. Mm-hmm. So they're talking about like the Egyptian characters. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Getting that Egyptian history and having that understanding of where these characters come from, and seeing the guy's acting like he'll go through 3 different characters at once. And they got the guy Kevin Bacon in it, which completely threw me off.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, yeah. Ethan Hawke. I'm thinking Kevin Bacon is something else. Ethan Hawke is in. Are we sure?
Yes, it's Ethan Hawke.
Okay.
You can tell because Kevin Bacon's cheeks are like sunken.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke then. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool. If y'all got Disney Plus, check it out. And they got another
app, check it out.
And they got another show coming out here with the Indian girl.
Oh,
Marvels.
Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
She's a young girl, and she's gonna be a Marvel. And just going through life with that, how she's always wanted to be a superhero type thing. They said with the Moon Knight, they're supposed to be making a tribute or pay some sort of a tribute to the actor who passed away, who was in it on this next one.
I don't even know who
that French actor who died in a ski accident. Because he was supposed to have a pretty big role on it, from what I understand, and then obviously he unfortunately passed away. But what else do we have? I was going to talk about the thing in New York, but I don't want to be depressing.
Oh, okay. Easter is coming up on Sunday.
What do we do other than eat? Mom's making a meal.
Anybody got any big Easter plans?
The only thing you really do for Easter is go to church.
Yeah. Spend time with family.
5 days in a row.
The resurrection. And
that's it. Like that's what it is. I don't really. It's not like Christmas where people forget about what the real reason of it was supposed to be and they commercialize it and everything. Easter is not commercialized.
I just feel like the last couple of years, Christmas hasn't been too commercialized because there just hasn't been that hot it item. And plus,
well, there haven't been a hot it item in years. Like, when was the last big toy?
I mean, because they had that whole Xbox, PlayStation debacle that was going out where they were sending out less items and people were just getting robbed in Kroger parking lots for the PlayStations and the Xboxes. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I haven't even heard of nothing else. Like, they need to bring back Tickle Me Elmo 2023.
Kids aren't playing with toys anymore. Why would they need that?
Because a lot of the stuff used to just be collector's items. People would just be excited to go out and collect something. But now
it's the same thing with these movies that come out 20 plus years after the first one or whatever. The only ones who are going to see it are the people in our age group.
I do got to say that I went back and rewatched that Sonic the Hedgehog, the most recent.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. They did a good job with that. I'm excited.
After they fixed it.
Hey, they listened to the people. Because they knew that if they just kept it the way it was looking, nobody was going to see it. But
which the only big thing in the whole movie is that they gave Sonic teeth. That was it.
Nah, they fixed his overall body frame, his shoes, his eyes. They had to fix them eyes because the other ones was this don't even look like Sonic.
True.
But
it said, what did it? Somebody said, or I saw something the other day that Sonic is now the highest grossing video game movie of all time.
I mean, what else we have? Doom wasn't going to do it.
Rampage
wasn't going to do it.
They changed.
Mortal Kombat, that was too violent. Kids' movies are always going to do numbers because
Jumanji, they made into a...
Well, Jumanji was a movie first, and then they made it into a game. Board game, not even a video game. But, kids' movies are always going to be higher grossing because it's a whole family aspect. You can't really take a kid to a rated R movie, so you can only...
You shouldn't.
Mother, father, kids. If you got 3 or 4 kids, you pay them 3 or 4 times for those ticket prices.
That's what I was going to say. We've been trying to get tickets for this Doctor Strange, and every time I've tried, it says the website's got problems, and that's Fandango and Regal. I can't get it.
Yeah, Regal, I need y'all to do something because y'all's app is trash.
It's not trash.
It's terrible. I've been trying to get tickets for the last 2 weeks.
I saw something that said that there's going to be more plot twists and what's the word? More different scene setups or whatever than there were in Endgame and No Way Home.
Because Endgame was the end for a lot of those characters. Now we're in a different. I don't even know what phase we're in anymore.
4.
Marvel has taken the baton and has Usain bolted out the gates with it. Because I heard a theory that the original Sonic trailer was put out with a 4 trailer, so it could get the big pushback. And when they fixed it, it was seen as a big company listening. Yeah, I've heard a lot of different stuff about Sonic. I mean, I'm pleased with how they did it. I think Jim Carrey has done a spectacular job playing Egghead, Dr. Robotnik. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anybody else that could have.
No, not with that much theatrics that you need.
Yeah, that guy, he definitely puts a lot of work into his characters for movies. But
even the serious ones, he does fairly well with.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Marvel. They just got the recipe for how they go out and how they put their movies out. And I think the writers have done a great job of just storytelling, story development. But I think now DC is about to get into their own. I think they're slowly starting to figure out what makes a good movie. Their movies are a lot more darker, not even in terms of just the overall film element, but in terms of just the overall storytelling of it. Because when you leave a Marvel movie, with the exception of Endgame, you leave out there happy-go-lucky, oh, that was great, the lighting was great. DC movies, you feel somewhat of a depressed sense. You're just
which isn't really what you should want to feel.
What did I just watch? I need to go watch something happy because that was depressing.
But unfortunately, we will not be able to see Robert Pattinson as Batman anymore.
I don't know if that was true or false. I gotta fact
Look
check
into
that.
it because they're looking about bringing Ben Affleck back.
I don't care. I mean, I'm
He's
just
got
seeing.
enough to worry about with J-Lo.
I just see the movies just because I'm not invested in DC like I am Marvel. But
It's like, I think we figured out somebody might have a Marvel 1-year birthday.
but yeah, that that's cool.
What else we got?
I think that's it for today. I talked for about an hour.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, ain't much else going on in the world this week. Yeah, we'll check back in with y'all in about another 2 weeks or so, unless something just spectacular just pops off this weekend or next week. And I'm just like, oh, we got to just talk to the people and see what's going on.
If you've got something that you'd like us to talk about or you want us to address, just let us know. Comment on here or whatever, or just, send somebody a message and let us know what was on your mind.
Yeah, I'm going to find some more, some different posts as I see them. Like I said, I stay on Twitter a lot, so a lot of these posts I'll be putting on here. I appreciate y'all for commenting on the post too, because we get a lot of good dialogue and discussion with people on there, and I'll be learning stuff. Because that 100,000 a year conversation we were having, I like to see different people's perspectives and just how they view whether it's money or finances or building generational wealth. Yeah, those are conversations I like having. And like getting people's mind to be focused on, because what we trying to do during these dark times is just build and uplift. So let's keep it going.
All right, you guys have a good weekend. Stay safe, and if you are doing anything for an Easter, enjoy your time with your family.
All right, we'll talk to y'all next time.